This presentation will provide an overview of nutrition nudges, including what foods to nudge, key nudge strategies, and how to implement nudges in your pantry. First, what is a nutrition nudge? A nudge is a subtle environmental cue that can change consumer behavior. The purpose of a nudge is to make the healthy choice the easiest choice. Benefits of nutrition nudges include low cost, they help provide nutrition education to clients, and they assist in distributing more healthy foods. There is a substantial need for food assistance in the United States. In Indiana alone, more than 1 million people struggle with food insecurity, meaning at some point during the year, they must choose between paying for food, paying for medical care, or paying for housing. Additionally, 1.5 million people in Indiana are living in food deserts, meaning they lack access to affordable, nutritious food. As a result, 23% of Hoosiers lack access to fresh, nutritious food. 67% of adults in Indiana are overweight or obese. Food insecurity is connected with higher rates of obesity, as well as higher rates of chronic diseases such as heart disease and diabetes. Let's move on and talk about foods we should be nudging to clients. As many of you know, food pantries serve populations with high rates of chronic disease. Providing and promoting a variety of healthy foods can help prevent and manage these diseases. Programs that can be put into place by pantries that provide criteria for healthy options include Foods to Encourage, Supporting Wellness at Pantries or SWAP, Food Gatherers, plus many more. And of course, your pantry can choose the guidelines that work best for you. We want to make sure we're promoting a variety of foods from all food groups and nudging foods to support a healthy, well-balanced diet. Here's an overview of foods to nudge that all guidelines available agree on. Starting with fruits and vegetables, we want to nudge all fresh produce, frozen vegetables with no added salt, frozen fruit with no added sugar, canned vegetables with no added salt, canned fruit with no added sugar, and 100% fruit juice. These are all foods that we want to encourage clients to choose more of. We also want to nudge foods that are 100% whole grains, such as brown rice and quinoa, bread and pasta with whole wheat or whole grain as the first ingredient, low-fat dairy such as milk or cottage cheese or yogurt with no added sugar, meat with less than 2 grams of saturated fat and less than 480 milligrams of sodium per serving, fish canned in water, dry beans and legumes, low or no salt added canned beans, and fresh eggs. And the focus here is really on low added sugar, low sodium, and low saturated fat. And those three things are what the American Heart Association has defined as a heart-healthy diet. Now let's take a look at the key nudge strategies that can be implemented in your pantry. These strategies include signage, strategic food placement, pantry layout, creative food pairing, food displays, and nutrition education. Signage and printed materials are a low-cost and highly effective way to promote healthy choices and educate your clients. Signage can include shelf tags, storage and preparation tips, highlighting foods that meet certain health needs, such as low sodium, adding color to your shelves or walls, and adding My Plate food group signs in areas with those food groups. These food group signs can be found and downloaded for free at choosemyplate.gov, and they're a great way to add color to your pantry. Food placement can make a huge impact on the items your clients choose. Some key points here are to place healthy choices at eye level, front and center on shelving, placing items you'd like for them to limit in further, harder to reach spaces, such as at the top or bottom of shelving. And if at all possible for your pantry, consider changing the layout of your space. For example, you could place produce in the center of the pantry so it's the first thing that clients see when they walk in. Pantry layout and flow of clients can greatly affect the items that are easiest for clients to choose. Place fresh produce first in the flow of traffic or in a display at the center of the room so that it's the first thing the clients see when they walk inside. Place healthier canned items first before less healthy canned items and at eye level. Fruit, vegetables, proteins, grains, and dairy should be placed front and center, easy to see and access, as those are the 5 main food groups we want to encourage clients to choose from. Foods to limit, such as pastries, sodas, and snacks, should be placed at the end of the flow of traffic, so that by the time clients reach those items, they'll be less likely to choose those in excess. Food pairing is a great way to encourage clients to choose items in bundles in order to create nutritious meals. Pairing foods can show clients new ways to use food items they wouldn't normally pick out and promote self-sufficiency. According to Feeding America, foods are chosen 18% more often when bundled, so this is a great opportunity to introduce clients to new nutritious foods. As many of us know, diet can be a huge factor in managing many health issues such as diabetes and heart disease. Foods that are low in added sugar, sodium, and saturated fat are considered to be heart-healthy foods, according to the American Heart Association. Foods low in added sugar and total carbohydrates are recommended for those with diabetes. Because pantries serve a large population of clients with these diseases, it may be helpful for some pantries to provide signage to highlight foods that are heart-healthy or diabetes-friendly. Nutrition education is a very important nudge strategy because it can help clients to better understand nutrition topics and why certain foods are better for them than others. Nutrition education can include handouts, flyers, recipe cards, educational cooking classes, cooking demonstrations, and simply sparking conversations about nutrition with your clients. Signage, food placement, food pairing, and food displays are also forms of nutrition education in pantries. Now let's look at how to implement nudges in your pantry. The first step of implementation would be to assess the need of your individual pantry. The second step would be to educate staff and volunteers and to make sure everyone is on board with nudges. The third step would be to make small, simple changes in the right direction. And number 4, remember that you can be a nudge by educating your staff and volunteers and by speaking with clients. Some small, simple changes to be made could be adding color to one wall with posters or signage to draw in clients' attention, rearranging your pantry's layout to place produce first, providing recipe cards, and just having conversations with clients about healthy items to choose. If you're unsure if nudges are right for your pantry, it can be helpful to consider these readiness factors. First, if we want to nudge clients to make healthy choices, we're going to need a client choice distribution style pantry. Also, you're going to need a reliable and sufficient supply of foods to nudge and perishable healthy foods so that you can feel confident nudging these foods without fear of running out of them. Do your clients have a demand for healthy foods or an interest in nutrition education? It's also important to consider the culture of your client base. It's very important that staff and volunteers are aligned and on board with nudges, as well as organizational policies being supportive of your nudges. If you're interested in implementing nutrition nudges in your pantry, here's some additional resources that you'll find very helpful. There's links to the SWAP, Foods to Encourage, and Food Gatherers Guidelines for Foods to Nudge, as well as the link for the Gleaner's Nutrition Hub website, which houses education handouts, recipes, shelf tags, and other resources. Here are the resources used for this presentation if you're interested in reading more about nutrition nudges and doing more research on your own.